Hey guys, it's Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be using the Morphe and James Charles palette again. But today's video is going to be kind of fun because I'm going to be doing a full face using the James Charles palette. I did already do my foundation and concealer because, I don't know how you would do a foundation and concealer out of this palette. Just have that done, but I didn't do anything else. I didn't even set it yet, so we have to do all of that. So let's get started. First, I just want to finish off my face. I'm going to start with my eyebrows by going into the shade T, which is this brown over on the end here. I'm just going to do my eyebrows and see how this color matches up because I actually think it's pretty close. I'm going to use the shade Canvas, kind of use this underneath my eyes, and I'm also going to use the shade Flashback and just kind of set under my eyes with these two shades. I'm going to go into the shades Punch Me, which is this little one, code James, and 10% off. I'm going to use these as my bronzer. And then I'm also using the shade Punch Me as my nose contour. For blush, I'm going into the shade Mary, neutral pink shade, and a little bit of the shade Pinkity Drinkity just to lighten it up. And I'm going to apply that. Just to clean up my contour here, I'm going into the shade Tune and Flashback. And I'm just adding this right underneath, and then also underneath my eyes. For my highlighter, I'm going into the shade Face, which is this gorgeous highlighting shade, and I'm just applying it. I'm actually going to apply some setting spray so that it went in my mouth. Just so that the highlighter, I'm going to reapply it, and I'm going to make it really pop. The powder, something to stick to. Not that it needed it, but I just want my highlight to glow a little extra. And I'm also adding this to my Cupid's bow. I'm just gonna add some more of this right above my brows. Hopefully you can see that. Highlight is amazing. For the eyes, I'm going to start out with some concealer, and I'm using the NYX Full Coverage Concealer, like this, in this little pot here, and with the concealer brush, and I'm just going to apply this to my lids. I'm using my beauty blender and just patting that smooth and even surface to apply the shadows. I'm going to start out with the shade Punch Me, and I'm just adding this right into my crease. And I actually just cleaned all my brushes the other day, and let me tell you, there's nothing better than some clean brushes. Going into the shade T, which is okay, I'm going into the shade T, which is on the end, all the way over here. I'm going to just add this right into my crease. Just dragging this out a little bit. And by the way guys, I did already have a video filmed with kind of basically like a first impressions, but it was like a more Unleash Your Inner Artist themed makeup look, so be sure to go check that out after this video. I'll have it linked down below in the description. I'm going into the shade Benny, which is this super deep brownish shade. I'm just adding this right to the outside of where we kind of brought out that shadow. Now I'm going to go in with my concealer. Just going to cut my crease. I'm going to cut it just slightly above, like just barely above where I normally would. The eyes look like after the concealer. And so now I'm going to go in with another brush, and I'm going into the shade Pinkity Drinkity, pale matte pink. So I'm just adding this right to my inner corner. I'm going to go into the shade Mary, which is this one, and add this right there. I'm just trying to kind of create a gradient using an angled brush and going into the shade Love That. I'm just adding this right there, blending it into the shade Mary, going into the shade Cola, which is this deep matte blue. I'm adding this right there and then bringing that out and blending it into the shade Love That. Now I kind of want to intensify some of that brown in the crease, so I'm going back into the shade Tea and Benny, and I'm just going to redefine that. Now I'm going in with a smaller blending brush and just softening that line. So I'm going back into the shade Love That, just reapplying these to just really intensify them because look how pigmented that is. And then I'm going back into the shade Cola and just reapplying that. And then I'm going into the shade Skip, which is this neon pink, adding this just to the inner corner part of that line. Now I'm going back into my concealer, just cutting the crease one more time, just not covering up too much of that pink and blue that we just applied. As you can see, I'm just leaving a thin line. Now this is what the eyes look like. Now I'm going to do the liner part of this. I'm going in with a super small angled brush. I'm going into the shade Brother, which is this matte blue. I'm just going to start that on the inner corner. Going into the shade Cola, which is the deeper blue, that right to the center. I'm going to go into the shade Escape and Single. Create my wing with that. Going into the shade Acapella and topping that right over the blue. I'm going into the shade Artistry and topping that over the purple. And I'm adding a little bit of that right into that blue, like with whatever's left on my brush. And then right onto the blue and blending it in. Now I'm going in with a super tiny brush with my concealer and just cleaning up that line a little bit. Create like a nice negative space effect. And then I'm using my bigger concealer brush and just cleaning up this edge. And then I'm using a small eyeshadow brush and I'm going into the shade Flashback and just setting the white part and just try not to touch any of the colors. We're just going to do the other eye. Did the other eye, applied some lashes, and then I applied the shade Love That on the inner half of my lower lash line, and then the shade Cola, and then the shade Escape just in a gradient on my lower lash line, and then I applied some mascara. For lips, obviously I want to just try and use this palette, so I'm have a little bit of lip balm on the shade Mary, a brush, and apply that as my lip color. It's definitely important to have some lip balm on so that you give something for the color to stick onto. It's actually a pretty nice lip color. And then I'm going to pop a little bit of the shade Sister with my finger just to the center of, that's very pigmented, just to the center of my lips for a little bit more dimension. Really like this lip color, which is kind of weird. This is the finished look. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell button when you subscribe. It's right next to it to turn on my post notifications so you're notified when I upload every single new video. And be sure to go check out my first video using the James Charles palette. And you guys already know how much I love this palette, so I won't go off onto that again. So you guys can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat at Victoria Costanz, and on Twitter at VicCostanz. And I will have direct links down below in the description, along with a link to the James Charles Morphe palette, even though I still think it might be sold out right now. So this was super fun to create a full face makeup look using this palette. So let me know what you guys think. And yeah, so that's it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!